At ease, gamers, this is Game Sergeant Scurry. I know it's quite a bit late to be doing this kind of video, since the Smash ballot has long been concluded, but this is something I had thought about almost a year ago, since the Smash ballot was revealed, and since Splatoon was released. I had already started thinking of a moveset for the Inklings, but the selection of weapons back then was too small to come up with a full moveset. I wanted to use as wide a variety of weapons as I possibly could to make the Inkling a diverse character in its moveset, so I thought I'd wait until I had quite a bit more weapon variety to work with. In addition to that, I didn't have quite the ideal equipment and software to record a video anyway. This move list includes many weapons from the game, some of which made perfect sense or were easy to think of, some were not so easy to come up with, and others were hard to narrow down since many weapons in the game have similar attributes. In spite of this, I managed to come up with a really thorough and complete moveset. If you guys have any idea as to what to replace some moves with, feel free to leave your suggestions in the comment section. Now, when I was thinking of the moveset for the Inklings, one of the first ideas I thought of, which stood as a defining trait of the character, was the depletion of ink while attacking. I wanted it to be sort of a cross between Little Mac's interface gauge and Robin's weapon usage mechanics. Basically, any move the Inkling used depletes ink, and in order to gain ink, the player would have to shield or dodge or something like that. In addition to that, there would be a small gauge next to the Inkling's percentage on the damage interface, which would decrease while the player attacks and increase while the player shields or dodges. The gauge would probably have around 50 ink, and when the ink gauge gets low enough, moves that require a certain amount of ink will either be less effective or have no effect at all. I'll go into more detail with each move later on. Another characteristic I wanted the Inklings to have, in contrast to other gunner characters in the game, was that all ink is affected by gravity, like with the actual game, meaning that you would have to plan your attacks with more hand-eye coordination, or as if each attack was a throwable item. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and start this moveset. I wanted the neutral attack to be the shortest range move in its moveset, so I'd have to pick the shortest range weapon, the Splooshomatic. This weapon would deplete 1 unit of ink per shot and deal 1% of damage per hit. The player could also hold the button to fire continuously. The common formula of ink consumption and damage that I thought of is that ink equals damage, so however much ink the move depletes is also how much damage the move deals. This move would probably have as much range as Robin's wind jab. The forward tilt would be the SPLATTERSHOT Jr. It would deplete 2 units of ink per shot and deal 2% damage per hit. This move could also be held, allowing the player to fire continuously at a lower fire rate than the neutral attack, but it would have a little bit more range. I also think it would be interesting if you could use it like the Fire Flower item, where you could slowly move forward while attacking. The up tilt could be the Slosher. It would deal 4% damage, depleting 4 ink. It would probably have the same range as the forward tilt, but it wouldn't be a continuous weapon. However, you could still rapidly tap the button, like in the game, to use the move in rapid succession. The down tilt could easily be the Burst Bomb. It might deal 5%, depleting 5 ink. It would have some decent knockback, but it would also have some ending lag. It should probably have just as much horizontal range as the neutral attack, and it could have a meteor effect too, like Peach's down tilt. The dash attack could be the TRI-SLOSHER, in which the Inkling would dive, dumping the ink in front of him. The move would deal just as much damage as the up tilt, but it would have less range. The neutral air could be the INKBRUSH. I imagine it would be like a spin attack or just 2 waves of the brush in front of the Inkling. The move would deplete 6 ink with 2 3% hits, either both in front of the Inkling or 1 in front and 1 in back. If there is less than 6 ink, only the first hit will deal 3 damage. The brush will do only 1% damage if there isn't at least 3 ink per hit. The forward air could be the L3 Nozzle Nose. This move would probably have the most range of all the standard attacks in this moveset since it's a nozzle nose. The move would deplete 6 ink with 3 2% shots. the move can be used in rapid succession in the air. If there's less than 6 ink, the move will only fire 2 shots, and 1 shot if the ink is less than 4. The back air could be the blaster. The Inkling would spin around, firing a 7% damaging shot, depleting 7 ink. The range of the weapon would be the same as the forward tilt. The blast radius range should be the same as the down tilt, and players caught in the outer blast zone might take 3 damage. The move will spin the Inkling the other way, similar to Marth's back air. The Inkling will still spin if there's less than 7 ink. The up air would be the sloshing machine. It would deal 6% damage depleting 6 ink, and like the up tilt, it could be used in rapid succession. However, this move would have more range and startup lag. The down air would probably have to be the burst bomb again, but this time the Inkling would throw it down. The move would have the same meteor effect and damage as the down tilt. The forward smash would definitely be a roller flick. This is where it starts getting complicated. For this move, I had an idea that the longer you charge the move, the more powerful the roller that's flicked. So a low charged smash would flick the carbon roller, dealing 8%. A mid-charged smash flicks the splat roller, dealing 12%. And finally, a fully charged smash will unleash the dynamo at 16% damage. The fully charged dynamo roller flick could potentially KO as early as 85%. If there's not enough ink for any of the roller flicks, the rollers themselves will all only deal 1% damage. However, they'd still have the same amount of knockback. The up smash could be the mini splatling. This one was interesting. I thought that the longer you charged the smash, the more ink would shoot from the splatling. A fully charged smash would shoot 15 units of ink each, dealing 1% damage, with the last one dealing the most knockback. I figured that if you had less than 15 ink, the move would just fire off all the rest of your shots, with the last one still dealing the same knockback. The vertical range would probably be just as high as the forward air is horizontal, with it being a splatling. The down smash would probably have to be the rollers again, but this time they do a spin roll on the ground like you see here, but much quicker. The damage, knockback, and ink consumption would be the same, as well as the damage and knockback when the ink is low. I wanted the pummel to be slow in comparison to the fast pace of the rest of the moveset, so I went with the H3 nozzle nose. The move depletes 9 ink, with each pummel dealing 3 round bursts, dealing 9% total. When low, the weapon will fire as much as the available ink will allow. The player can use it in rapid succession, but the end lag is annoyingly high. However, one advantage this move has over the other gun moves is that when empty, the Inkling hits the enemy with the gun, dealing 1% per hit. The forward throw involves the rapid blaster. The Inkling tosses the enemy forward, dealing 1%, and then shoots the blaster, dealing 6% to the target and 2% to any opponents in range of the blast. When the target's damage is high, the rapid blaster throw is used instead, reaching as far as the forward air, dealing the same amount of damage as the regular rapid blaster. The back throw uses the Luna blaster. The Inkling tosses the enemy backward, also dealing 1%, and shoots the blaster, dealing 7% to the target and 4 to 6% to opponents caught in range. This throw has high end lag. The up throw involves the .96 gal. Once again, the Inkling tosses the foe upward and then shoots 2 shots, dealing 5% each for a total of 10 ink lost. 1 shot if the ink is less than 10. This throw has medium end lag. The SPLATTERSHOT is used in the down throw. The Inkling slams the foe on the ground, dealing 2% and fires a maximum of 3% shots for a total of 9% damage and 9 ink lost. The foe is launched sideways after the throw. The neutral special is called Charger Shot. I thought you could hold B for up to 2 seconds, and depending on when you let go, the Inkling fires off one of the 3 one-hit KO chargers. similar to the forward smash. Releasing the button in less than 1 second will fire the Squiffer, dealing 7 to 9%, but always consuming 9 ink. Charging for at least 1 second will fire the Splat Charger, dealing 11 to 14% and always consuming 14 ink. And charging for at least 2 seconds will fire the E-Liter 3K, dealing a full 20%. The Squiffer can reach as far as half of Final Destination, the Splat Charger can reach the full length of Final Destination, and the E-Liter 3K can reach from one edge of Final Destination to the blast zone. And all chargers have the same knockback. Also, a thread appears while charging the weapon, just like in the actual game. The Splat Bomb is the side special. The Inkling throws a Splat Bomb as far as up to 3/4 of Final Destination. The player holds B and moves the left stick upward or downward to aim the bomb, similar to Yoshi's up special, and lets go of B to throw the bomb. The bomb consumes 20 ink and deals 20 damage inside and 15 to 19% for those caught in the blast. It does not affect the user, however, and it has the same knockback as the gooey bomb. The up special would obviously be the super jump. The Inkling would stop in midair for a brief moment and then shoot up like a rocket and land hard on the ground. I would assume you could aim it to an extent, similar to Rosalina's up special. This move would not deal damage or consume ink. For the down special, Inkling should set a suction bomb. The bomb lingers for about 3 seconds until it explodes, dealing 25%. The blast deals 20 to 24% to all opponents in range, having no effect on the user. The final smash actually wasn't that hard to think about. There are other good choices, but none seem more OP than the Killer Whale. After pressing B, the player would have about 2 seconds to aim the Killer Whale or just press B again, and a gigantic shockwave will shoot all across the screen. Think of Samus's final smash. The shield would obviously be the bubbler. And finally, we have the taunts. So the first taunt, the up taunt, would obviously be "come on." Then we have the down taunt, and that would be "booyah." And then finally, the side taunt would be the infamous squid bagging. So yeah, that's it for the moveset. Taunt, shield, everything. Thanks for watching this video. Let me know if you liked it in the comments. Leave me a like, subscribe while you're at it. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, take care and carry on.